The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, I'm Maricela Kelaton. This is TVWAN News. In this edition, Foundation runs training for school counselors, third anti-money laundering plan launched, and para-athletes off to badminton championships. The National Coordinating Committee on Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism and the Technical Working Group gathered today to launch the third National AML-CTF Strategic Plan 2023 to 2027. Present was Governor for Bank of PNG Elizabeth Gania and Secretary for the Department of Justice Dr. Eric Kwa.
According to BPNG, money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism globally presents not only a problem for criminal justice systems, but also a macroeconomic problem due to the destabilizing of financial systems and its institutions. The launch of the National AML and CTF Strategic Plan 2023 will help set directions to address money laundering and counter-terrorism financing issues in the country. The implementation of this strategy is the work of the National Coordinating Committee meeting and the technical working groups from 15 different PNG institutions. With today's launch of the 2023 to 2027 National Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorist Financing Strategic Plan, the committee, with the support of the working group and the Secretariat, are making sure they are undertaking activities to meet their obligations in the strategic plan.
Now, this document is purely a list of the essential things that we need to do in the next 5 years. It talks about how we should be protecting the country. We don't want to be damaging our economy, socially, and our reputational. So this document basically sets out 7 objectives. It is our third strategic plan. It sets out 7 strategic objectives. The document recognizes the international environment in which we will be operating in and also domestically. The document emphasizes our approach is intelligence-led risk assessment and is based on evidence and collection of assessments across different agencies.
Top 5 risks PNG faces are illegal logging, illegal fishing, fraud, and tax evasion. Through these meetings, they will be able to address these issues. Genia further elaborated that the plan highlights PNG's specific problems with PNG developed solutions. Acting Director for BPNG, Wilson Onea, stated that the plan is giving a blueprint on how the government agencies are present in the room can work together to address those issues. According to BPNG's webpage on discussions of AML and CTF, effective enforcement of regulations and policies to deter money laundering and the financing of terrorism should inter alia enhance the integrity of the financial system and reduce incentives for the commission of crime with jurisdiction. Jasmine Irujak, TVWAN News.
The Asia-Pacific Group on Money Laundering is a regional body and PNG is a member. It is mandated to support countries in the Asia-Pacific region to strengthen and support their anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing regimes. In 2010, PNG's AML-CTF regime was assessed and recommendations through the APG-ML Mutual Evaluation Report, among other recommendations, showed that PNG needed to improve its AML-CTF regulatory and supervisory system. A follow-up was said to be made by the international assessors.
So it's a team effort, it's a government effort. We're all here. In the next 2 weeks, Papua New Guinea will be assessed assessed by international assessors in terms of our financial institutions and how we manage this process. And so we are confident that we can be able to respond positively to the assessors, and we can get a good score based on the effort that everyone has put in this space. So that's one of the things that's going to happen immediately after this week, that the international assessors will be here on Sunday, and they'll assess the whole country for the next 2 weeks in terms of how we are managing this space.
Member for Kompia Mambum and former Minister for Finance, Sir John Pundari, has called on the government to prioritize law and order in the country. Sir John said people have lost complete respect and confidence in the law enforcement agencies, resulting in crime rates reaching unimaginable levels where people are taking the law into their own hands.
With escalating law and order issues in the country, Senior Member of Parliament Sir John Pundari has called on the government to focus on getting the basic fundamentals on law and order right.
Law and order has always been a priority of governments, and it is also a priority of this government. We've got to relook at how we have been addressing it. The investments of monies that the government has put into addressing law and order, are we getting the outcomes we want out of the monies that we have invested in? Or have we as a government been putting enough to addressing law and order into the police department per our annual allocations?
Sir John used the escalation of the use of illegal firearms as a serious threat, saying the government must buy out illegal firearms in the country in the period of amnesty.
And after this period of amnesty, where you have buyback of illegal weapons and the awareness, we apply the law. We apply the law. Even if we have to improve on the death sentence on illegal weapons in the country, we've got to do so. We've got to do so. For instance, a shoot-to-kill order by security force members or people who are in the possession of illegal weapons, but guided also by how the security forces will go about using such extreme laws on our people.
Sir John also suggested that a massive awareness of law and order must be conducted across the country to address the penalties of those breaking law and order in the country. In February this year, Commissioner of Police David Manning welcomed the bilateral security discussion between PNG and Australia for a treaty that aims to improve the day-to-day safety and security for communities in PNG. Manning says the treaty would cover training of police personnel to improve skills, including forensic capabilities, family sexual violence response, and border security operations. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Finding employment after graduating from higher tertiary institutions and universities remains a challenge for young Papua New Guineans, as formal training to get graduates ready for the real world is limited. In helping graduates, the Graduate Job Ready program was launched today.
The Graduate Job Ready program, initiated by the PNG Korea Development Inc., was launched in Port Moresby today. The program is designed to empower and assist recent college and university graduates in Papua New Guinea to articulate their knowledge and skills and how they can deploy them in the real-world workplace situations. The Job Ready program also seeks to prepare graduates and help them explore possibilities for self-employment. It's a course to help young people as the country faces high employment, says head of PNG Korea Development and UPNG lecturer John Kamasua.
We've realized that there are a couple of gaps in terms of the gaps between what students have learned in the classroom situation and the academic skills that they've acquired, plus and then there's the real world in terms of how they can apply this. So there are the job situation in the real world is forever changing. New demands, new skills. So sometimes the students need to enter this the work situation and then learn all these skills again. So what we're trying to do is to bring on board some of these graduate and put them through a systematic process where we prepare them mentally, and then also we get them to articulate the skills and the knowledge that they have and how they can apply. That's also very important.
With almost 500 graduates being part and parcel of the program, PNG Career Development Inc. is positive more can be done for graduates to involve organizations through their job placement programs. The Job Ready program requires partnerships with organizations in both the public and private sectors.
To create possibilities for themselves. So in a sense that although there are the graduate jobs for graduates are not readily available, but we want to ensure that they create possibilities and opportunities for themselves as well, which is one of the things that we want to do. So.
A recent graduate from the University of Papua New Guinea finds the Job Ready program very helpful. Henrietta Retu said finding a job straight after finishing from university is a huge challenge for many graduates. Henrietta challenged organizations to provide a pathway for employment opportunities that's flexible for young people graduating from higher institutions.
Every organization, be it private or be it public sector in Papua New Guinea, please offer internship programs or offer voluntary programs or offer part-time or full-time jobs for tertiary students here in Papua New Guinea.
Fostering good economic relations with the world's largest economy is healthy for Papua New Guinea to create income, earning and job opportunities. Treasurer Ian Lynn Stuckey is part of the PNG entourage to the U.S. and made these remarks after meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden.
From the USA, Treasurer Ian Lynn Stuckey clarified that their purpose of traveling there was to help build and strengthen relationships with big economies like the USA. He said PNG must build good economic relations with the United States to maximize the chances of trade opportunities, investment, and jobs for the people. The Treasurer stated that there is more to do to strengthen PNG's economic relationship with the United States. PNG's trade patterns with the United States are relatively small. According to the latest United Nations data, PNG's export to the U.S. were only $93 million in 2022, while imports totaled $129 million. This is much smaller than PNG's exports to Australia of $4 million and imports from Australia of $1.7 million, despite the Australian economy at $1.7 million being less than 1/10 of the U.S. economy. Mr. Stuckey reiterated that PNG's trade linkages with other countries like Japan and China are also much stronger than the U.S. The U.S. economy is still the largest in the world and is likely to hold this lead role until the early 2030s. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
You're watching TVWAN News. We'll be back after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
You like saving on winning plus scale rice matchy pack? Scale rice like giving you plenty chance to winning plenty scale prizes. Kind price or same 256 plus scale rice Navi set, 192 plus scale rice KMOS key, not 44 plus JBL and co speakers, 102 plus wireless microphone. The win, 5 mini scale rice or oil rice products, writing full name and contact details below the box and receipt, not drop him inside the entry box. You got 4 plus draws, 4 plus fortnight, 116 plus winners, and 16 plus promotion locations. Just try us all. You got terms and conditions for this plan.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans, expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend, PNG's own coffee.
Open nets.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
Moves it out. Short ball from Arcoy, moving it quickly. Nice quick hands. And Bayer Clinic stroke back under the six. Yeah, nice transfers in the tackle.
This is insane!
Live AFL, every week on ABC Australia.
Welcome back. Minister for Internal Security Peter Siamalili Jr. says he will not resign as the cabinet minister following comments by East Sepik Governor Alan Bird accusing him of advocating for Bougainville independence at the sides of the UN General Assembly. Bird in a statement questioned Siamalili's ability to balance competing interests as regional member for Bougainville and as Internal Security Minister.
Internal Security Minister Peter Siamalili Jr. has defended himself as a cabinet minister and clarified that his speech at the United Nations General Assembly was not to advocate for Bougainville's independence, rather of the need for the United Nations to continue to support peace-building initiatives globally. Siamalili said he spoke on Papua New Guinea's foreign policy as friends to all and enemies to none, that enables PNG to work with all countries as well as the need to advance peace through peaceful means. He said as a Minister of State, he is committed to working with the national government to find an enduring and peaceful solution for Bougainville. Siamalili was responding to a statement by the Governor for East Sepik, Alan Bird. Governor Bird had accused Siamalili of inappropriately using his position as a Minister of State to promote his political agenda on the international stage. However, Minister Siamalili denied this and instead said he spoke of the need to advance peace by peaceful means to be applied in a global context, emphasizing the need for tact, sensitivity, and mutual respect when negotiating the path to peace. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
A school counselor's training is currently underway at Ampo in Ley to guide teachers and officers on how to screen for alcohol and drug abuse and sexual abuse of their students. The program is facilitated by Digicel Foundation and is the first of its kind training to be conducted under the Man of Honor program.
A first-of-its-kind school counselors training under Digicel Foundation's Men of Honor program is currently being conducted at the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Papua New Guinea's Ampo headquarters in Ley, Morobe Province. Following a request by ELC PNG, Man of Honor Program Manager Stanley Bakere, is inlaid to train school counselors, which consisted of 20 teachers and chaplains, on how to spot the signs of alcohol and drug abuse and the best way to treat and monitor the concerned individuals.
Majority of them, this is the first counseling training they have attended. So we have to work, I have had to work slowly with them in introducing them to the whole counseling skills. All of them are teachers first and foremost, and then the second part of their role is to be school counselors. And one of the things we've spoken or have spoken to them about is that the difference between being a teacher and being a counselor. We were also looking at ethical issues involved when you provide counseling.
Bakere, who is a counselor by profession and the Man of Honor Season 7 Ambassador and Unsung Hero for Southern Region, emphasized on confidentiality throughout the sessions, which started on Monday the 25th of September and will end on Friday the 29th of September.
And that's a big thing, because when you maintain confidentiality, it's easy for the students to disclose their issue. And confidentiality also builds trust. Students are able to trust the counselor. Because a lot of the times when students go through abuse, they find it hard to talk about it. But one of the things you will see is the behavioral. They display that through their behaviors. So it's important that they be able to observe, be observant, look at the symptoms or behaviors that are being. And one of the indicators is like the sudden drop in school mark. Could be an indicator of indication of an issue. Student is coming late all the time, or is in the classroom but is not paying attention, is sleepy all the time. So there could be issues there. So by talking to the student and asking the student, they'll be able to come to an understanding of, to find out what is actually happening.
Kamela Guare, TVWAN News, Ley.
In a significant step towards bolstering healthcare and community welfare, Oktedi Mining Limited has joined forces with business partners, village leaders and the Village Planning Committee to unveil a clinic and staff house at Milgalsim village in the North Fly district of Western Province. The official inauguration ceremony, which took place on September 14, was graced by the presence of OTML Managing Director and CEO Kedi Ilimbit, Board Chairman Jeffrey Ines, Executive Leadership Management representatives, and various business partners.
The newly established clinic holds a pivotal position as one of the primary catchment clinics for Tabubil Hospital. It is geared to provide essential medical services, staff support, and a constant supply of medical resources. Village Ward Councillor Roy Meki expressed his appreciation for the collaborative efforts of the Migalsim community, Oktedi Mine Limited, and leaders from landowner companies in bringing the clinic to fruition. He called upon community members to assume responsibility for the facility, recognizing the immense hard work and sacrifice invested in its establishment. OTML Managing Director and CEO Kedi Ilimbit reaffirmed OTML's unwavering commitment to working closely with landowner representative bodies and companies to maximize benefits for mine villages and neighboring communities. He also hinted at ongoing discussions with Tabubil Hospital about the possibility of extending these benefits to other mine villages and local communities. The clinic project received a total funding of 380,000 kina, with OTML's Community Relations and Sustainability Department contributing 180,000, the Migalsim community allotting 100,000 kina from their dividend payment sourced from Mineral Resources Star Mountain, and an additional 100,000 kina assistance from Milum Group of Companies via the Oktedi Landowners Royalty Investment Trust. The project was implemented by Star West Limited. Migalsim, one of the 6 mine villages, is also home to the Okmenga Hydropower Station, a crucial source supplying approximately 75% of the power required for Tabubil town and sustaining Oktedi's mill and mining operations. Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
A 42-kilowatt renewable energy mini-grid was commissioned this morning at the St. John Bosco, Kuriva Primary School and Kuriva Sub-Health Center. The event brought together the management of Total Energies PNG, USAID Papua New Guinea, MP Kit Iduhu, and students and staff of the school and the local community to witness the solarization of the primary school and health center. In partnership with the USAID Papua New Guinea Electrification Partnership Activity, the operator of the Papua LNG project, Total Energies PNG, embarked on a solar electrification project to provide a 42-kilowatt renewable energy mini-grid to the St. John Bosco, Kuriva Primary School and Sub-Health Center, commissioned today.
We are very privileged to have this incentive from our development partners. I'm addressing key something straight. You need extra light, lo stop more, lo walking walk. All teachers, you need him light, lo prepare him lessons, blue. You need him PC, you need him sample computer, lo walking lesson, blue you good, na teach him all sumatin. And this is a very good move that all walking na come up now here and participate in this occasion.
Total Energies emphasized their commitment to delivering an exemplary Papua LNG project with a strong focus on sustainability, enhancing biodiversity and encouraging low carbon emissions in their endeavors such as the electrification project. Since 2020, through the electrification project, USAID has been assisting communities strengthen their access to renewable energy. This was demonstrated today through their partnership with Total Energies.
As Papua LNG project, we rely on partnerships to contribute more efficiently to the welfare of the communities. And our strategy is really to find partners with whom we can align. So today I acknowledge USAID. Thanks, Nino, and all your staff, emerging partners and development partners to PNG. So I'm pleased today to have inaugurated this solarization project for the Kuriva Primary School and the Sub-Health Center, which demonstrates among the many social benefits, in addition to the job and value creation, that projects like ours can bring to the neighboring community so that we may prosper together.
Especially today's switch on is not just going to be improving the health indicators for this community, but of course we visited the classrooms today, and it will contribute to better education environment for the kids of this school.
Additionally, it was announced at the event the Kuriva communities will also benefit from a St. John ambulance to be based at the Kuriva Health Center as part of the project's initiative to commemorate the newly stationed ambulance service. The keys were ceremoniously handed over to the member for Hiri Koyari Kit Iduhu. And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2750 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2675, $0.4139 Australian dollars, $0.2450 euro, and 39.47 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, crude oil and copper closed higher, the rest closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. TVWAN News continues when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hey, you want to talk? Want to win one of 4 Costa buses?
Simply collect 6 SP Lager Red promo caps and enter the draw at a participating store near you. There are heaps of other great prizes to win too, like SP Hunters jerseys and other awesome SP Lager gifts. So enter the draw today for a chance to win. There's a bus to be won in Islands, Southern, Momase, and in New Guinea Islands.
SP Lager, Bungim Yumi!
Right across the nation, we eat snack crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young plan alapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Buying PNG made.
Hey, can I get a Virginia?
A what?
Morning King.
Heine.
Is there a green one?
The ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 is almost here.
Oh, out! What a beauty! He's on absolute fire!
I put out an open challenge for a World Heavyweight Championship match right here.
Here comes the man.
Oh my God! And everybody loves Seth freaking Rollins.
Welcome back in regional news. The United States says it is disappointed by the absence of Solomon Islands Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavare from a two-day summit aimed at improving Washington's ties to the region. Members of the Pacific Islands Forum gathered for the second year in a row at the White House, where President Joe Biden urged leaders to recommit to each other. The U.S. is working to boost its presence in the Pacific Islands after publicly conceding it had not focused enough attention on the area while China's influence expanded. But in a blow to those diplomatic efforts, Prime Minister Sogavare declined to travel on to Washington after visiting New York City last week for the United Nations General Assembly. Fiji's Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka on Monday delivered his first statement at the U.S. Pacific Islands Summit held in Washington, marking the first day of this pivotal two-day summit. Prime Minister Rabuka emphasized the importance of trust, solidarity and adherence to multilateralism and the rules-based order. He articulated Fiji's commitment to the new agenda for peace and underscored the significance of the Pacific as a zone of peace. Prime Minister Rabuka also addressed the pressing challenges faced by the Pacific region, including the consequences of the war of aggression in Ukraine, which has resulted in supply chain disruptions, threats to food security, and unpredictable inflationary pressures due to over-dependence on imports such as petroleum products. Prime Minister James Marape has, on behalf of the people and government of Papua New Guinea, joined his colleague Pacific leaders in extending sincere appreciation and thanks to U.S. President Joe Biden and his administration in hosting the second U.S. Pacific Leaders Summit. Marape also acknowledged the efforts put in by senior officials in preparing pre-summit meetings to prepare a working draft outcomes document for which they anticipate will guide the partnership as the region strengthens the U.S.-Pacific relations through the delivery of commitments made during the inaugural meeting last year. PM Marape also acknowledged a series of regional engagements and discussions held at various levels with the U.S. government to date, which have also contributed to strengthening the visibility of the U.S.-Pacific Partnership arrangements. The New South Wales Police Force has again been blasted by the judge heading the inquiry into gay hate crimes. He says he's sick and tired of the force's attitude when it comes to providing records on time. This latest criticism came as the inquiry learned more about the opportunities that police missed in the high-profile Scott Johnson mystery.
Familiar reaction.
How many times does your client have to be reminded that last-minute production is absolutely unacceptable? It is disruptive of the inquiry's proceedings.
10 minutes before a witness was due to give evidence, police produced a document counsel assisting said was of central importance to the questions. The force's counsel was blasted.
I'm sick and tired of your client's attitude in relation to these documents, and it is yet again testimony to the fact that I think your client doesn't know where half its records are.
The inquiry is investigating dozens of deaths in New South Wales that may have been gay hate crimes. The mystery document's relevance was soon clear. In 2012, former cold case detective Alicia Taylor reviewed the case of American Scott Johnson, who died at cliffs in Manly decades earlier. She urged police to consider an investigation targeting known persons of interest who have been charged with offences against homosexuals in the Northern Beaches, which may produce further lines of inquiry and enable covert opportunities to gather information. The inquiry has previously heard that 4 of her superiors ranked the priority as nil, which meant closing or suspending the case. The witness had never seen their document before.
I can't make comment on what decisions were in this process of making this prioritisation. The recommendations I thought were valid at the time I did my review.
Scott Philip White was arrested in 2020 and is serving a 9-year jail sentence for Dr. Johnson's manslaughter. That case may be solved, but issues around how it was handled are still in focus at the inquiry. Tomorrow's witness is one of the 4 senior officers who signed off on the nil priority score.
The Papua New Guinea community in Hawaii celebrated PNG's 48th independence anniversary with joy and unity. Despite the time difference, the community, including PNG students and professionals, gathered for festivities hosted by the Kunat family, a traditional Momo feast reminiscing about the connection to PNG, and a call for young students to explore scholarship opportunities abroad were highlights of the event. PNG students in Hawaii pursuing diverse fields of study, extending a warm welcome to future scholars. Epilepsy is one of the most common neurological conditions in the world, with about 50 million people affected. But the far-reaching consequences of epilepsy extend beyond just physical health.
Year-old Sophie Garcia loves playtime, but her mum knows that at any moment she could have a seizure.
This year she's had 2 to 3 a week. Last year about the same. So yeah, I think we've called 000 200 times, I'd say.
At just 8 months old, her first seizure lasted for more than an hour. The epilepsy diagnosis was devastating for her dad.
I just remember when we got that diagnosis, I went for a really long run and cry all the way.
Seizures can range from severe convulsions and muscle jerks to moments of spacing out.
Her brain just doesn't switch off, so she can be awake for up to 22 plus hours sometimes.
While they've been trained in seizure management, there's still hardship.
And sometimes it's like you don't know if you're doing a good job, you don't know if you're doing the right thing.
In some cases, life with epilepsy can come with mental health struggles along with learning and cognitive difficulties, problems that Sophie has avoided.
We have no idea how this is going to turn out, so all you can do is live in the moment, enjoy her, help her have a beautiful life, do the best you can.
The Garcias have started a support group called 1 in 25.
Most people will ask me questions, and we're really open to talk about it as well because we need to be.
Rafa Garcia also runs endurance challenges to raise funds for Epilepsy Queensland. This weekend he'll be jogging for 25 hours straight.
So worth it when they come to you and they give you a cuddle or a smile.
the proud parents of a little girl with a big heart.
And that ends the news segment. I'll be back with the sports segment after the break.
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy. So bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Hennow, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
Without a doubt, you care for your loved ones. You want to keep them safe, whoever they may be with, wherever they may be, in the home or facing the world outside. Don't let anything stop you, not even bacteria. Protex helps protect your skin with natural extracts. Boosted with flaxseed oil, Protex helps eliminate 99.9% of bacteria for healthy skin. And with the power of natural goodness, you're ready to play every day. Protex, for the good health of your skin.
Want more data for less? Get it now with Digicel's revamped Red Club. Enjoy data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Plus rollover data, the widest coverage, fastest speeds, and best reliability. Only with Red Club. Join Digicel's exclusive Red Club today and get loads more data for less. Yes! Data bundles from as low as 1 kilo per gigabyte. Whoa! Join today for as low as 10 kilo weekly to access discounted data bundles and get more data for less. Dial *675# or visit the My Digicel app today. The Red Club. Only with Digicel.
On the ground, the Fijian. Kebalo, oh, Butterfingers there out of the hands of Dante. You've got to be careful. He's up. Ramos in the corner.
The rumble is on.
And we are rolling on the World Cup. Tackle. Punishing set of drives on the line. Oh, it's a domination. It's good. You want more softness? You've got it. The perfect response. And we can go and they're over. The World Cup is theirs.
Welcome back. The inaugural Momase Regional Youth Games was launched on Monday by Member for Huon Gulf and Minister for Community Development and Region, Jason Peter, at the Lawaiden Oval in Medan Town. Teams gathered at the Oval as early as 6 a.m. in anticipation of a week-long sports fest.
Themed University in Diversity, celebrating our region's strength, the Momase Regional Youth Games kicked off its week-long event on Monday after the official opening ceremony at Lawaiden Oval in Medang Town. Teams representing districts in the Momase region walked proudly into Lawaiden Oval, led by traditional Sing Sing groups. Member for Huon Gulf and Minister for Community Development and Religion, Jason Peter, gave his keynote address and opened the games. Minister Peter said the youth games provided a platform for young people to further their sports interests and opportunities. In all of that, the minister challenged each person to be good ambassadors and leaders, to be good examples as law-abiding citizens.
I still think no booking will use one time. That's why we started thinking was you must come a good ambassador. No one man word you come no him, one LLG you come long one district you come long na province you come long. Future bodies the country and Mr. Brand to you. Mr. Nadia, one time in innocent youth, and today they come up with a leader. So three man a little gloomy like me, also you start from a BIT must come with a leader, a good citizen, so this is a country to me, Papua New Guinea.
Minister Peter encouraged the youth to participate in government-initiated programs and to always take on opportunities that help sustain their livelihoods. First Secretary to the Office of the Medellin Governor, Edem Wangu, represented Governor Ramsey Pariwa at the opening. He conveyed the governor's message to the youth, importantly that they be good sportsmen and women throughout the duration of the Games. Mr. Wangu commended the Games organizing committee and the ground crew who worked tirelessly to ensure the tournament got underway. Chief Censor Jim Abani attended the opening of the Youth Games. He pledged that the Censorship Office of PNG will advocate for the National Youth Development Authority by presenting 10,000 kina worth of sports and officials' gear. Executive Director of PNG Sports Federation Albert Beratau also pledged to source out funding to support future regional youth games. Meantime, teams are competing in soccer, rugby touch, basketball and volleyball. Para-athletes have been included as well. Salome Vincent, TVWAN Sports.
The PNG Sports Foundation had launched its new policy and motto of Going Rural to Go Global, with the hopes of identifying and developing raw talent that are hidden within the rural areas of the country. PNG SF is diversifying now with the inclusion of the regional youth games. The games kicked off last year in Milne Bay for Southern Region and yesterday for the Mimosa region.
Athletes have been told that PNG Sports Foundation is taking a new pathway to identify and create a platform for hidden talents in the rural areas. According to the Regional Youth Games Council Chairman and Director General for National Youth Development Authority, Joe Itaki, a lot of times youths in rural settings do not get the required exposure to make it to the national arena, despite countless tournaments being held. The Regional Youth Games will enable athletes to progress from their LLG and district games into the national games and hopefully make it onto the international arena. Mr. Itaki highlighted on the various ambitions of the Department for Community Development and Religion, along with the National Youth Authority, emphasizing on the economic programs and now the rollout of the Regional Youth Games. Mr. Itaki stated that going forward, he would like to see more funding for sports being injected into the LLGs and districts for sports development. PNG Sports Foundation Executive Director Albert Beratau stated that his team will be keeping an eye out for potential talents during the games. He encouraged the youth to give their best. Beratau concluded by congratulating the participating teams and encouraged sportsmanship during the duration of the games. The Momase Regional Youth Tournament started on Monday with soccer at Laiwaden Oval, rugby touch at Holy Spirit's Yabong Park, basketball and volleyball at the Divine Word University courts. Included in the games are crusades in the evenings and cultural shows. Salome Vincent, TVWAN Sports.
A total of 6 PNG para-athletes, including 2 team officials, left for Victoria, Australia today for the Oceania and World Badminton Championships. The 2 major events are scheduled for the 29th of September to the 1st and 2nd of October to the 6th of October respectively in Perth.
Head coach of the PNG Para-badminton team, Brian Carroll, is heading a team of 6 athletes to compete at the Oceania Badminton Championships, which starts this Friday, 29 September till 2nd October, followed by the World Badminton Championships until October 6th. Coach Carroll said the team, which comprises of 3 male and 3 female athletes, have been hard at training over the past months and is very confident they are ready to compete against the best para-athletes from Oceania and the world.
I've got 3 males and 3 females, and out of those 6, 4 are new to the sport, but it's a good exposure for them to travel out to represent our country, at the same time to be competing in such international standards and to have that awareness and bring back the exposure and the experience to build capacity development in our training and our programs, and to promote inclusion and gender equality throughout our trainings and our program.
World. In terms of international exposure, Coach Brian said 4 of the athletes are first-timers, except for 2 who are attending for the 3rd time.
Regardless if this is their first time traveling out or competing against other para-world athletes, it all comes down to their mindset and how they think on and off the court. And so in terms of preparation and training, I'd say they've done a really exceptionally well in terms of being committed and punctual for training and for preparations.
2 of the traveling athletes, Maneka Tapari and Jerome Bunge, said they're excited about the trip and looking forward to the championships.
I just started last year November, and this is my first time to compete in the international games down at Aussie, Australia, Perth. So I'm looking forward to play with the team.
Training hard, go low, prime low, play low. Come now on blast, standard way. We can come on top playing low. Badminton Federation standard here.
2 of the traveling athletes, Maneka Tapari and Jerome Bunge, said they're excited about the trip and looking forward to the championships.
Former Gold Coast Titans mentor Justin Holbrook has made a first impression in his new tenure as Kumul's coach after taking the PNG PM's 13th side to shock an all-NRL star-studded Australian side, only to go down fighting 1830 at full-time. Only 2 months into his tenure as the Kumul's head coach, Holbrook was given a 20-man squad to work with. While majority of the group had little or non-capped players, playing at the PM's 13 level was an unreal experience.
It was a whole new experience for coach Justin Holbrook, who appeared over the moon after Saturday's impressive performance by PNG against the big NRL stars, 2 of whom he mentored as the Titans in the likes of Tino Fasua Malawi and Afiona Khan Pereira. After his boys' gutsy performance on Saturday, it was a nervous experience for Holbrook, having to soak in a lot of the post-match happenings when fans invaded the field but spoke proudly of the boys' performance.
Great spectacle. The boys are obviously pumped up. The crowd's excited. Disappointed in the way it finished, but really proud how we played out there. Obviously, we're seeing how passionate the fans are, and they don't mean any harm. They're just excited to get on the field and take it the right way it is, and yeah, I'm happy.
Coach Holbrook is excited about the upcoming Pacific Championships, where PNG will be up against Pacific rivals Cook Islands and Fiji here at the Santos National Football Stadium.
Second half, as you said, right near the end, they were a chance, and unfortunately come up with a couple of errors, and they got that late try on us. So could have been really close score, and yeah, hopefully looking forward to the Pacific Test Series in a few weeks. It's going to be great.
PM's 13th captain, courageous Kyle Labart, was a real menace for the Australians, especially his no-nonsense defence and spiral kicks, which got the opposition backpedaling. Kyle was equally happy with the efforts of the boys, while praising the experience of Nene McDonald, Robert Dubby and kid brother Zach Labart, making his debut for the Kumuls, and can't wait for the Pacific Challenge.
Right, we've got a lot of young kids coming through. My brother Rob Derby, Trey Stewart. Yeah, it's a good mixture at the moment. We've got some boys from PNG and the Hunters, and yeah, I'm really excited for what's to come. It does. It's very promising, and can't wait for the next few years to see what happens.
Another major announcement of the PNG Kumuls and PNG Orchids teams will be made soon for next month's Pacific Championships. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
Nimama local level government in the Namatanai district of New Ireland province will be sending a strong contingent of athletes to the upcoming New Ireland Provincial Games. The games will be staged in the provincial capital, Kavieng, from the 22nd to the 29th October this year.
Team Nimama comprises of athletes competing in 6 different sporting codes, namely soccer, volleyball, rugby, rugby touch, basketball, rugby league nines, and athletics. The team got a big boost on Wednesday last week when they were presented with a new set of team uniforms sponsored by the Nimamar local level government. The uniforms, including walkout shirts and official shirts for the respective teams, were presented by LLG President Stanley Tunut, accompanied by his Deputy President for Lihir Youth and Sports Association, Michael Gote, said they have prepared well and are looking forward to compete at the provincial level. Gote said this is an opportunity to showcase the raw talent from their LLG. During the uniform presentation, President Tunut challenged the athletes to wear the uniforms with pride, play hard, and display good sportsmanship both on and off the field throughout the games, and be good ambassadors for the Lihir and Nimamar local level government, who is the major sponsor. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
And that now ends the sports segment. We'll have weather for the main centers for the next 24 hours. Momase, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with rain and possible riverine flooding areas. Highlands, scattered showers and thunderstorms with rain areas. Mount Hagen, cloudy with rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Southern, isolated showers and thunderstorms becoming scattered over Oro Province. Port Moresby, cloudy with possible showers. Kerema, rain showers and possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with rain areas. Buka and Lorengau, rain showers and thunderstorms. Ocean focus for the next 24 hours. Bismarck Sea, seas moderate to rough, becoming very rough over south sectors. Southeast winds of 23 to 33 knots, reaching 47 knots over south sectors. Coastal waters forecast. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru Kiwai Islands to Kerema to Yule Island to Port, seas 2.5 meters to 3.5 meters. Waters of Samarai Island to eastern and western Milimbe Islands to Cape Vogel, seas 2 to 3 meters. And that ends the news tonight. Pleasant evening. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.